Hey, well, hello to everyone out there in YouTube land. I hope that everybody's doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I am coming back so that we can, just to share something with you. I've mentioned it before, and I understand that it's a moral choice that individuals have to make for themselves, but I really believe that in situations where individuals are married to other people, they are off limits. They are off limits. I don't care if they're separated, um, because, there is a time, before divorce or reconciliation, because when people separate, the married people, excuse me, when husbands and wives, spouses separate, that's a time to reflect. It's a time for us to cool down. It's a time to get to know ourselves as individuals, know ourselves as a couple, to work things out. Some people think that the separation means we're separated so that we can divorce, but I believe that this separation is so that we can heal and again work on reconciling that relationship, salvaging it, finding out where we're going wrong. What do we do to work out our differences in that? Some people think it's the separation prior to divorce, but I do really believe I was just with someone, and I was saying that it was a couple who, they had went through a lot of. Did they go through some infidelity? They went through some different things in their marriage. Oh, okay, domestic violence. It was domestic violence, and it was. Let me just say domestic violence, and they separated, or did they divorce and remarry? No, they separated. What happened was the court got involved, and what the court did was um, uh, order that they both, they go through anger management, go through domestic violence classes. Both of them had to go to domestic violence classes, and one as a victim, um, and one as the perpetrator or whatever. So so they wound up going through. They had to stay away from each other. They were ordered not to have any contact with one another, and I think that was for a year or something like that. They definitely had to finish all of the different courses. I don't know if they had to do parenting as well, but they had to go through a variety of classes. Just put it that way. But they definitely could not. They were also ordered not to have any contact with one another. But they wound up getting back together. Uh, they healed. They forgave one another or whatever, and healed throughout the time they were apart, and they reconciled their differences and came back together, and they're still married today, and that was some time ago or whatever. Um, so I do believe. Again, I do believe that when you if you separate, you're in a marriage and you separate. I think that what I was going to say. I don't believe that some things that you just are not going to get back together because it's just too deep, or it's something that's really out there. But I believe that there's really not anything that you cannot come back together on, because we are taught as believers, definitely, we have to forgive. And I know a lot of people say, well, I forgive it, but I'm not gonna forget. Which is good, because you shouldn't forget, but you should not throw it up, throw it up in people's faces and and stuff like that. You really have to forgive, which does mean forgetting, but you kind of don't forget the signs of things. You don't be stupid. Be wise and keep your eyes open and that and whatever. But nonetheless, what I'm saying is, um, I believe that any relationship can be healed, and we remember that we took vows, and then people do that all the time on a daily basis. They take vows to stay married and to do this and to do that, and then they turn around and they lie because they divorce or whatever. So I believe that any relationship can be healed and or reconciled. Any relationship, anyone. Now, it's not that everybody's going to do it, because some people, it's those are deal breakers. Domestic violence, that's a deal breaker for somebody. You know, but people can change. They can change, seriously. I know there are times, there's infidelity. Again, it's up to the person, the other spouse, but again, people can change. There are just different things um, that I believe people can get back together on. So, if a person is married, even if they're separated, they, um, I mean, yeah, even if they're separated for a time or whatever, they are a no go area. And I know people say, oh, well, the person is separated, but that doesn't mean it, but that separated is uh, not married, unmarried. So you're still messing around with a married man. So you're still messing around with a married woman. They are no go areas. Wait until someone divorces in order to make that next step. And then, even then, a person still needs time. There is no way that I myself would get involved with someone right after they divorce. There's no way that I would get involved with someone right after I recently, got a divorce. There's no way. I think that people need time. If you any relationship, if it's divorce or just a breakup of a girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance situation or whatever, an engaged couple, if you have broken up and whatever, I think that you must have a time of solitude of for yourself to heal. Okay, you need to heal. Okay, you need to reflect. You need to discover, yourself and things of that nature, and what happened in that relationship. Because you don't want it to happen again. You're not ready for a new relationship right out of the door, out of the gate after a divorce or a breakup. There's no way I could get involved with anybody and that's under that circumstance. And I would not, I wouldn't put myself in that predicament, nor would I put myself in that situation to be a toxic, what do you call it, a toxic waste plant to somebody else, because I feel like I'm just dragging all of this luggage that I just came out of this relationship and through this divorce. I'm just bringing everything to another relationship. That's just like I walked around the house uh, with my socks on, or walked all outside, or in some mud and some dirt with my socks on, my clean socks, and put then I put all of those dirty socks that I just walked all around in. I go and put them in some, put some clean shoes on, and like everything is okay. You gotta clean that up. You don't. I mean, you gotta put on a new pair of socks. Actually, you probably need to wash your feet. And then put on a new pair of socks, and then put the shoes on. But there are many processes and steps we need to go through. I see this so many times where people, they jump from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship, and I'm like, wow, what is really going on in your relationship? Because a lot of people, they're in relationships, but they don't really have a relationship, like a serious, healthy relationship. All it is sex, or if they imbibe drugs or alcohol. That's all. That's when they come together, and they're just either inebriated or high. That's not a really a good, that's not anything healthy or anything. You don't have discussions about your future, about your children, about your goals, about fight, all of these things. People don't touch. They don't touch their talk about finances, or anything, like even before getting in a relationship with somebody or marrying them, or just, if it's just of course, a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. They don't talk about, again, they don't even discuss these things. They just come together. So if I, so then there's no discussion about who's, about working, because some people, they don't, may not want to work, or the person might not want, the husband might not want the wife to work. Somebody, or somebody's more involved in entrepreneurship, which, sometimes the money might be different. It might not come in as steady as someone who is working a job. People don't discuss having children and how we're going to parent the children, things like that, or when we're going to retire. It's just so many things that people don't discuss, and they just jump in together. And then those things become problems down the line. You parent differently, that's a problem. You eat things that are differently. You're not, some people are not uh, tidy. They're even hygiene, their body, they don't take care of their hygiene. They don't keep the home clean. Their car is a mess. And that's a big problem. That makes a big difference in a relationship. That's a deal breaker for me, by the way. All of those things, we both need to be on the same level, as far as cleanliness and hygiene, and things like that. Because I can't live in untidiness, and definitely if you don't keep your body and your oral hygiene together, that's just really not gonna happen for me. So that would be a deal breaker for me. But we don't come together and discuss these things, and that's the importance of courtship. And courtship is different from dating. Dating mostly involves sex, like, all this illicit sex, and maybe you go out and stuff like that. But you're really not getting to know one another. You know nothing about each other. You haven't met one another's family. And again, you don't discuss these things. So those things are very, very important. And I know I've gotten off topic. I really just came on really hoping of just to say that married individuals are no go areas. So please try to not to do that, because again, you must heal, because some people, they still have jealousy, Because you see that a lot of times. There's so many problems with them with custody. They have custody battles, financial battle, and it's like, you're still going through this after you divorce. Come on, that's so stupid to me. It's wickedness. You have had a bad marriage, okay? You've divorced, then after the divorce you still argue, you still disagree, you still have problems. It's like, you guys haven't healed. You haven't healed, you haven't worked out anything. You know what I mean? And then you bring other people into the relationship. That's wrong. There's no way I would involve myself in something like that. And people actually get in relationships with people like that, and knowing that they have problems with their spouse, their former spouses, and you put yourself into the equation. People get killed behind stuff like this. Killed, or other violent actions, or they destroy your property. You think you're getting ready to go to work, or getting ready to go play tennis or whatever, and you come out there, your all your tires are flat, your windows might be broke, or your car keyed up, and just some silly stuff, some terrible, childish foolishness. That's why we got to be mature. Marriage is not for the faint at heart, and it's not for immature people. People have to know what they want and where they're going. You might not have it all together, of course, but you got a lot of the important things that really, really matter. We must be agreeing on them, okay? We must agree on them, okay? Yes. We have to be working together, and we it's a partnership. It's teamwork. And the Bible has said that we become one. We're one person. Okay? So if we're one person, how is this why are these other relationships so contrary? Why are we divorcing? Why are we having so many problems that we can't work out? Then another thing, people don't want to work things out. They want to argue and fight and stuff. It's like, we can't be civil. We can't talk these situations out. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm sorry. I'm way, I really just came to let us know that having call yourself dating or being in a relationship with an individual that's married, that's a no. We should not do that. But again, courtship is different from dating, and that is something that we should all be thinking about. Who are All of us who are single should be thinking about that. And all of us who are married should be thinking about how to stay married, you know and if we're not going to stay, if we agree not to stay married, then we have to agree on how we're going to maintain a healthy relationship. Not even if whether you have children or not, it's still a good thing for you to be healthy, and maintain a healthy relationship. I hate discord between individuals. I would hate to I don't have any problem. I'm trying to think of people that I have an issue with, but I don't have any issues with anyone, not like a discord, like really people that I just can't be bothered with or whatever. Although there are people in my life that I am not bothered with, because they could, anyway. It, if people are just not on that level, I don't have time for it. I really don't. If people want to act up or whatever, I just divorce myself from those situations and people. I don't have to have a relationship. If it's going to be a relationship that people think that I'm going to be in, that's going to be full of discord and agony and angst and all, I'm not the one. I need to live in peace. Okay. So anyway, that was all I wanted to come on and say. I'm going to drop this conversation because I've talked about 30 different things, and I only really meant to say one thing and be off of here because I'm trying to catch up on some reading. So anyway, I love you guys very much. Let me know what you think about all of the topics I just broached. Oh God, goodness! And what do you think? Give us some of your tips as well, and we'll talk to you later. Love you very much. Bye bye for now.